What's up guys, it's Lewis now on here, and today I'll be showing you a hunter build for you to use right now in the game or during Lightfall. So let's get into the video. With this build, this is based around Arc Striders for the hunters, where the main goal is basically punching everything until everything dies in the room. As melee hunters in this game are ridiculous. They pretty much are hard to kill, and with the Assassin's COWL exotic, it makes them really hard to kill, as each melee kill, powered melee kill, makes them go invisible. And there's an if, and there's an and as well. Any melee kill that has puts vault shot onto an enemy will also make you go invisible and won't use your melee charge. So that's really good as well. So for this build, the aspects that you will be using will be flow of state, which by defeating jolty targets makes you amplified, and if you don't know what amplified does, it makes you go fast as hell. So yeah, that's really good. And then lethal current. So lethal current, after dodging, your next melee attack has the increased lunge range, jolts the target and creates a damage aftershock, which for melee is really good. So yeah, and that jolt will do a lot of damage to big targets. So you got a major or a mini boss enemy, it will do a good chunk of damage and will kill any adds around them, as you will get your melee back or powered melee back very fast in this build. So what's the abilities you'll be using at Super is Gathering Storm, as Gathering Storm does a lot of damage for Arc Hunters. Obviously your traditional Gambler's Dodge, as this gives you your melee ability back when you dodge near enemies, which is really good. Triple Jump, because it's triple jump. Combination Blow, as this is what helps you do a lot of damage with this build. And then Pulse Nades, as Pulse Nades do a lot of damage in this build. For fragments for this build, you'll be using Spark of Shock, your Arcanase Jolt target, so really good for ad clear, and Pulse Nades are just good in general. Spark of Feedback, taking melee damage briefly increases your outgoing melee damage, so if you get hit by a Scion or something little Thralls, you'll just do more damage, and plus 10 resilience as well, which is nice. Both. Spark of Resistance, while surrounded by combatants, you have more resistance to incoming damage, which is really nice because you will be getting up and close with this build. And then Spark of Ions, defeating a jolted target creates an ionic trace, which is really nice, as that will make you not jolted, it will make you amplified. So yeah. So now, how you get your melee backs really quickly is pairing Gambler's Dodge with Combination Blow, as defeating your targets with Combination Blow allows you to fully reveal your class ability and restores a small amount of health back. So when you use that, then you dodge near enemies, get your charge melee back, and you constantly do that. And with Combination Blow, it stacks up to 3 times. So when it stacks to 3 times, you do the most damage from that, which will be really great for taking out higher tier enemies if you're doing dungeons, grandmasters, or anything. It's just the main benefit for this build is keeping the Combination Blow counter up, whilst also being able to Gambler's Dodge, as if you don't keep that up, then the stacks will go away and you have to restart all over again. What makes this build really good is the exotic choice, as the exotic choice that you'll be using is Assassin's COWL. Now, Assassin's COWL is really good to the fact of its exotic perk, Vanishing Execution. Power melee final blows grants invisibility, restores a portion of health, and shields. Now, you already get health back with Combination Blow, but with the added of getting more health back with this, it makes you realistically invincible and not to die. And when you get finishers or final blows against more powerful targets, you have a longer duration invisibility and the amount of health and shield restore back as well, which is an added bonus with Assassin's COWL. Now, the perks for this build are really specific as it does help with the overall build. So for starters, Well of Ions. Picking up Arc Elemental Wells causes your next melee to deal increased damage. Now that's important when doing ad clear content or anything like that, as you'll be able to take down portal ads really fast. Hands on, you gain bonus super energy on melee kills, as it's a melee build, you'll get that Gathering Storm super back really fast. Melee Well Maker, obvious one, because this is a melee build, so we need something to generate wells. Taking charge, as this will allow you to juice or become charge relate when you pick up a well, and this does stack with water ions, so it's really beneficial for that. Any of these ammo mods, so I've chosen the seasonal energy diffusion sub trait, which having more one of these, you gain more resistance to all damage types in the game. If you want, you could do either solar resistance, fire resistance, etc., or could do concussive dampener. But obviously these seasonal ones, so these will go away end of the season. Something may come along until when Lightfall comes, so be minded of that. Now for the boots, I've gone with high energy fire. This is good for more for like LFRs in the game. But if you're using swords, you can always go with Lucent Blade, as dealing damage to your sword gives you bonus sword damage for 5 seconds. As this build is mainly melees, it does go well with this. And for your class item or Hunter Cloak, not really anything matters for this for mods, as there's not really many options for it. But I've got Weakening Clear and Solo Operative. Solo Operative is really good for when you're doing solo content by yourself, as you just do increased damage compartments in general. So if you're doing solo dungeon runs, it's just great for that. And then Weakening Clear, if you've got a grenade launcher with you, pop it onto an enemy, and that becomes more damage. With melee builds, you would do extremely a lot more damage, and it's just a better one overall than Tractor Cannon, because if you're using the Witherhoard, that'd be great for that. Now, one benefit for this build is the main weapons. For this, if you want to push out the most melee damage for this build, you need a 1-2 punch shotgun. In my one, it'd be the regular D, as this is auto-load holster, so it's quite nice because it stores away when going to other weapons. Then you can put it back and be automatically reloaded. And then 1-2 punch. Now, it's best to get the enhanced version of 1-2 punch. I haven't, because I haven't done a lot of time on this weapon, but when you have the enhanced version of 1-2 punch, you are more forgiving how many pellets you need to hit with 1-2 punch. With the normal perk, you are less forgiven. So if you're going to go for this, make sure you get the enhanced version of 1-2 punch, as it's more ideal for this build. And then for your primary, any primary that'll do for this build. So what is your favourite? And then depending on the solo content you do, you can either go, the best one would be either the Lament if you're going for more close bosses that don't have knockback, or if not, a good cataclysmic, as this has been really key for those longer range builds, and yes, you'll be able to survive, as with the other perks or traits, etc., I've suggested. You'll be able to survive and you have no worries. Just make sure you take cover and be great with using LFRs with this build. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like and subscribe this video, as it does help out if you like these type of videos that I make. And if you got any suggestions on what builds I should make next, let me know down below in the comments below. And if you want to watch me use these builds live, I am live on twitch.tv/TheLewis901, where I try to stream as often as I can, at least 3 times a week. So if you want to see me live, come join and we'll have a good time. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later.